Welcome to OMN English News Report, broadcasting to you live. I'm one of your English anchors. My name is Surati Sali, with our technician Adil Usman. Bulletin is headlined with the following reports. Fourth round of peaceful resistance in eastern, western, and southern Oromia comes to an end today. As protests continue to maintain momentum in the Oromia region, the government continues to kill civilians and vandalize properties. Ethiopian court drama continues as a new bail has been granted to Misha Tigray along with 2 other detainees. Tigray votes. The harassment by Abiy's regime continues to question press freedom. And now for today's news. The call made by Cairo to restrict traffic movements by blocking linking roads and highways crossing through Oromia is well underway in eastern, southern, and western Oromia, local sources told OMN. The fourth round transportation disruption, a continuation of a previous 3 protest steps since the assassination of icon artist Haj Ali Hundesa, has continued to challenge the regime of Abiy Ahmed to settle political differences through a civilized dialogue. In the East Hararghe zone of Oromia, traffic movement ban imposed by Cairo is being affected in the districts of Awadai, Kombolcha, Alanko, Dardar, Daredawa, and other areas in the zone. All federal roads and highways to Finfinne are now blocked throughout the zone. In the West Hararghe zone, also lines that connect such towns as Galamso, Anjar, Machara, Badesa, Kunne, Chiro, and others were also out of service. The main roads in Finfinne is also reported to have been blocked since September 6, 2020. In similar developments, roads are being blocked and traffic movements are restricted in Bale zone of southern Oromia in the districts of Robe, Gindir, Dinsho, Goba, and other areas, according to the OMN source from the city of Robe zonal capital. The main road that connects Bale zone with Finfinne and other towns is free of traffic movement. Likewise, road blockage and market boycott continued in towns of western Oromia, with a particular focus on restricting linking roads and highways, locals reported. The fourth round of road obstruction declared by Cairo is going on in Horo Guduru of Walaga in the districts of Amuru and Agamsa town. The highway that connects Agamsa and Amuru district villages has been totally blocked by Cairo. In a similar manner, West Walaga of Dambidolo town and its surrounding federal roads and the highway to Finfinne are completely blocked, OMN sources confirm. Cairo's and Ilu Ababora zone of Oromia are also implementing the road obstruction protest. In the Darimu district, the road that connects West Walaga and Ilu Ababor has been blocked on the eve of September 6, a day ahead of the ban was declared by Cairo. Federal Defense Force and local government forces jointly tried to open the road but didn't succeed, sources told OMN. The road blockage is taking place in similar fashion in different parts of East and West RC zones of Oromia. A bus that was discovered to transfer government troops from Asala to Bokoji was blocked by Cairo. Attempts of government forces to open the road was aborted, sources reported. Currently, there are no traffic movements in the 2 RC zones in towns like Bokoji, Shashamane, Nagele RC, Shala, Dodola, Kore, Wabe, Edo, Heraro, Adaba, and Kofale. In all the troubled areas of Oromia, government cadres are threatening locals using megaphones that the regime would take serious measures against those who boycott transport services and close stores. They are forcing businesses and service owners to get back to work. Locals say no vehicles are moving on the road since the declaration of the road blockage from September 6, 2020. The fourth round of road blocking strategy was declared by Cairo to continue until September 10, 2020. The resistance struggle is taking place to put pressure on the regime of Abiy Ahmed to release Oromo political leaders, activists, journalists, and tens of thousands of Cairos without any precondition and open up the political space for dialogue. In response to road obstructions, government and security forces are taking harsh measures on local residents. On September 6, 2020, in Chiro district of Western Hararghe zone, in the rural village of Bobasa, specific name Kololo Oromia, special police forces opened fire on a crowd and shot live bullets to 4 individuals. Sheikh Khalil is among those dead, while 3 remain in critical condition. As the killing measures continued unimproved, government forces killed 2 young men who were traveling by foot from the low town of Bale to Goba on the night of September 6, 2020, for no reason than they were walking on the road. They were not engaged in any road blocking activities and they were peaceful pedestrians, locals told OMN. After the murder of 2 young men was reported, government forces denied the access to relatives to take bodies of their loved ones by dumping the bodies at a nearby hospital. The bodies were not buried until this report was put on air. Residents of Dalo and Robe have protested the brutal attack by staging rallies. In another development in Nagamte, town of East Walaga, security forces are arresting youth grossly and looting and vandalizing properties, local sources told OMN. The government forces are incarcerating youth with the allegation of organizing market boycotts and road obstruction. In other developments, women and young girls in the city of Deredawa have continued marching on the streets, condemning killings of children and jailing and raping of women by troops of Abiy's regime. Girls and mothers are staging similar rallies in various areas of Oromia, denouncing the killing of citizens who demand their rights peacefully, the incarceration of Oromo youth amid COVID-19 pandemic, and imprisonment of Oromo political leaders for their opinions. A woman who took part in the Deredawa protest rally told OMN that the government's forces opened live bullets on protesters, beating and arresting several women, mothers, and young girls. However, the women are not intimidated by such brutal measures to stand for a cause, she added. Simbo Dejane, the daughter of Mr. Dejane Tafa of Oromo Federalist Congress OFC senior leadership, was taken by government security forces to Makalawi, the infamous torture chamber. Simbo's mother, the wife of Mr. Dejane Tafa, Ms. Mulatu, told OMN. Simbo was arrested on September 7, 2020, taken from her workplace. Simbo is a technician with Oromia News Network and was on vacation for 2 months to take care of the family, according to her mother. Family and friends are not allowed to provide food and clothing, according to Simbo's mother. Currently, Ms. Mulatu is on post-delivery maternal leave after she has given birth to a child only 15 days ago, and Simbo is the only daughter to take care of her siblings and the only one able to visit her father in prison. With the arrest of Simbo, the family is facing serious challenges as she was supporting the family while her father was arrested. Simbo's mother also expressed high concerns over her child's health and the COVID-19 pandemic, where thousands of people are crowded in concentration camps. The mother added, Oromos are targeted merely for their identity, and her child has not committed any crime except that she is an Oromo. Early this week, Ethiopian prosecutors charged American citizen Misha Chirri with the crime of violating anti-telecom fraud in the absence of both Mr. Chirri and his lawyer. The prosecutors alleged Mr. Chirri installed prohibited telecom satellite equipment at the residence of the political leader Jawar Mohammed. They further alleged the telecom satellite equipment was imported from the United States without approval from the Ethiopian government. They accused Mr. Chirri of engaging with hacking into devices such as mobile phones, tablets, and desktop computers, and creation of private system of network, which is illegal. Mr. Chirri rejected allegations. Last month, Mr. Chirri was granted bail set at 10,000 Ethiopian birr, which is equivalent to $275 US, to which the police appealed to keep Mr. Chirri in prison. On August 31st, judges allowed the remand and continued investigations of Mr. Chirri by police for a further 3 days, due to being a flight risk, among other reasons relating to collecting evidence. On September 8th, the court granted bail set to 20,000 Ethiopian birr. Jawar Mohammed, Bekele Garba, and other Oromo political prisoners are said to be on hunger strike today, as their families stated. The failure of the enforcement of the courts commanded both Jawar Mohammed and Bekele Garba a shared room, transferring them from a dark cell to a room with enough light, where they also have access to showering room when needed. Jawar Mohammed and Bekele Garba have been detained ever since the morning after the Oromo iconic artist Hachalu Hundesa's assassination. Both Jawar and Bekele are being denied medical treatment. On the 8th of July 2020, several leading members of the Oromo Liberation Front political party were arbitrarily detained by Ethiopian government forces without a warrant. Among them was Dr. Shugud Galata, a German national and leading campaigner for dialogue and nonviolence to resolve Ethiopia's long-running inter-ethnic crisis, who was also serving as a member of the presidency of the UNPO. Dr. Shugud Galata was granted bail on September 4th and then shortly released on September 8th. Press freedom continues to be of concern as prolonged pre-trial detention of journalists and media workers amid COVID-19 pandemic. Journalists and media workers at Oromia News Network television stations were reported to be arrested. Sources say that they were arrested while recording a holiday Eve event at a local restaurant in the capital city of Finfinne. Among those arrested is Wado Diro, a studio guest, and 9 other journalists and media workers who were also taken by government security forces to Makalawi, the infamous torture chambers. As Abiy Ahmed's constitutional permission to rule the country ahead of expiry next month, the Oromo people are not alone in their feud with the prime minister. Tensions are rising between Abiy Ahmed's ruling party and the local Tigray region. The region represented by TPLF made a decision to organize its own election, this move widely seen as an act of defiance against Ethiopia's current federal government. Abiy Ahmed's ruling party has responded to Tigray's call for pending regional elections as unconstitutional. Tigray's regional government has called any attempt to stop the upcoming election a declaration of war. They further boycotted the last weekend's parliament session. The TPLF argue, like the other opposition groups in Ethiopia, that Mr. Abiy's mandate should finish October 2020. The TPLF condemned the postponement of August 2020 elections will breach the constitution, resulting in Abiy Ahmed becoming a legitimate ruler of Ethiopia. The significance of TPLF's decision to call an election is worrying for the Ethiopian government, as it opens a risk of creating a breakaway state. The TPLF leader states his party will never back down for anyone intending to suppress Tigray's hard-won right to self-determination and self-rule. Abiy Ahmed's government responses repeatedly state that Ethiopia will never disintegrate, indicating his own confidence in holding Ethiopia together despite being on the brink of collapse due to mounting ethnic, religious, and political tension. At least 12 people, including 4 journalists and a senior think tank analyst, were barred on Monday from flying to Tigray. 4 of the passengers said, after Ethiopian security officials said the region's elections later this week were illegal. Those barred from the flight also had their phones and laptops confiscated. One of the passengers said, Simon Marks, a freelance journalist who often reports for VOA, along with 3 journalists who works for Ethiopia's Olo news site, were stopped from going to Mekelle. He tweeted early that morning at Bole Airport, this morning in Addis Ababa, 3 local reporters, myself, and other members of the public boarding the flight to Mekelle were prevented from traveling by National Intelligence and Security Service. Phones and laptop confiscated, social media accounts scrutinized. He continues in the next tweet, my passport, press card, and Ethiopian residence card were also confiscated, and no information about how to retrieve any of it. In a statement released shortly after the incident, Ethiopia's Foreign Correspondents Association condemned the actions. We urge Ethiopia's federal authorities not to undermine the significant steps taken to increase media freedom over the past 2 years by attempting to police what journalists can or cannot report, the statement reads. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has yet to make a statement in accordance with the incident. On Thursday, September the 3rd, at least 9 civilians, including 6 children under the age of 7, and 39 others were injured when Somali region Liu police opened fire on demonstrators in Raso, Afdar zone, according to sources. The disturbing situation unfolded after demonstrators took the streets to denounce what they call Liu police's mistreatment of the city residents. There has been long-standing simmering communal tensions around the area for some time, and the latest protests were due to soaring relationship between the local residents and the Liu police contingent stationed at and around the city. The latest clash was sparked by a poorly rushed process to calm communal tensions spearheaded by the Regional Security Bureau and its chief, Dr. Hussein Qasim. The town's local community and the elders have accused the Liu police and the security authorities of fueling the long-simmering tensions around the city. We must warn you that the following video may contain any graphics. You can hear non-stop gunshots and demonstrators frantic as Liu police approached and shot demonstrators. Those demonstrating included women and children who were unarmed. Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands smashed the world record for the women's 1-hour race by more than a lap when she ran 18,930 meters during the Brussels Diamond League meeting on Friday. The Oromo-born athlete who won gold in the 1,500 and 10,000 meter at the World Championship last year ran 413 meters, more than one whole lap, further than the previous record of 18,517 set by Ethiopian Dire Tune in 2008. The 27-year-old Hassan took control of the rarely run race almost from the outset and surged away over the last minute of endurance test to add to the mile world record she set at Monaco last year. Hassan told New York Times, "An hour is long. It takes a lot of concentration and focus." Hassan continues, "After the first half, I found my rhythm. I'm really happy with this record." Around the world, the Oromo protest movement continues to gain momentum. Ethiopian embassies in Western countries are engulfed by protesters demanding accountability by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's ruling party. A grand rally took place in Atlanta, Georgia, where Oromo youth associations and communities traveled from all over America to protest against Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Rallies in front of the Ethiopian embassies in Europe and United States and the organized sit-ins at the Ethiopian embassies in Minnesota reflects rallies around the world that have taken place since Haj Ali Hundesa's murder. Participants attending protest rally against Ethiopia's retreat from reform, as evidenced by the current detention and mistreatment of opposition leaders Bekele Garba, Jawar Mohammed, and other political opposition leaders and Oromo civilians. Protesters cite widespread violence by government forces against Oromo people and other Ethiopian nationalities. That's all the news I have for now. An English news broadcast will return to you live on Oromia Media Network. But right now, stay tuned for further broadcasts on OMN. Until we meet again, my name is Sora Tisali. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.